Thanks for finding us here once again at the Peak Performers Podcast. Today, we conclude our discussion with memory expert Ron White. Here in part 3, Thor and Ron get to the bottom of how increasing the capabilities of your memory translates directly into increasing the capabilities of your business. That's right here on the Peak Performers Podcast.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
You talk in your website about tripling your memory and tripling your business. Give us a little details on that, because for all the entrepreneurs listening there, they've piped up and they said, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, no. Well, here, and I'll give you some scenarios here, and ask yourself this question: if you lost your memory today, would your income go down?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you improve your memory, your income will probably improve.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, but why? So let's maybe examine some reasons why. You go to a business meeting today and you meet 5 people, and then you go to a meeting tomorrow and you meet 3 people, and then you go to a meeting the next day and you meet 1 person, and then in 3 weeks you are at the Atlanta Braves baseball game, and you see that person that you met 4 weeks ago at that business meeting. What happens so many times for business people is they see them, they know they're supposed to know them, but they don't know how they know them, they don't know, or maybe they do remember where they met them, they remember all the details of the transaction, they bought a house or a car from them, but they can't remember their name. And so then they might walk over to them and they're like, hey, you know what, I remember your face, I never forget a face, I know you bought that insurance policy from us last week or a month ago or 6 months ago, but I'm so stuck on your name, can you tell me your name again? They'll say, oh, hey, it's Brian. Yeah, no problem. That's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is you see that person at the baseball game and you walk over to them and you're like, Brian, how you doing, man? Hey, it's so good to see you. I didn't know you liked the Braves. By the way, how's your wife Lisa doing? It is a dramatically different conversation. You are showing that person they're important to you. You're showing that person you care about them. And that is a huge difference in business. It's building relationships, getting referrals. So scenario 1 and scenario 2, I think it's almost a no-brainer how remembering names is going to help you triple your business or improve your business. Other examples of it might be a lot of business people have to stand up in front of a group and give a speech or a presentation. And it's a big fear for a lot of people. But when you can stand up in front of that group and you are not reading your notes, you're not reading the PowerPoint, you can still have a PowerPoint, but you're not relying on it as your notes. You're talking to the group and looking at them in the faces, in the eyes, because you remember the speech. That's going to improve your business. You're going to be able to be a more dynamic presenter and present your material better. And I think a lot of business people, they spend a lot of time retraining themselves on stuff that they should know, or retraining their employees on stuff they've already taught them, and they're wasting time and they're wasting money. When you can remember something initially, you're going to save time, you're going to save money. So this is the areas where I say triple your memory, triple your business. Remember names, give speeches without notes, learn anything faster, stop wasting time retraining your brain. And that's what I mean by that. Triple your memory, triple your business.
I can see it. The names are so important. When you can remember somebody's name, that's one of the most important sounds or words to any individual is their name. And when you can do that and you're really good at it, it just shows that you care. Brilliant stuff. It's funny because I almost had to cut you off about 2 weeks ago. I was preparing for this interview, and I was going through some of your stuff, and I was signing up for some of the newsletters, etc. And then you started sending me some of these great materials. And I was like, hey, would you like to double your reading speed? I'm like, yeah. That'll be I think it was like $37. I'm like, what? That's a no-brainer. I'm like, sign me up. And then about a couple of days later, it's like, Hey, would you like to learn about one of the most interesting and intelligent men that have ever lived? Albert Einstein. I'm like, yeah. Brilliant, brilliant program. So I almost had to cut you off, but I didn't cut you off. The Black Belt Memory course that you have, you've touched on some of the techniques. Is there anything else in that program? I know that you go into languages as well, how to learn a foreign language. Anything else that's going to be in that program?
Well, in my Black Belt Memory program, I do jujitsu. I am a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, so I'm not very good. But I was sitting, having drinks with a buddy of mine who has been doing jiu-jitsu longer than me. He's very good. He's a purple belt. I was sitting there with him. It was me and this guy named Scott Flansburgh. Scott is in the Guinness Book of World Records for speed math. You can say 982 times 34, and he can tell you what it is. It's crazy. But my friend Brian said, you know what? Paul Halmy is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. That's our teacher. And then he pointed to me and he said, Ron, you are a black belt in memory. And Scott, you are a black belt in math. And Scott looked at me and he said, Ron, that's the name of your new product, Black Belt Memory. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. So the program it's 7 belts. You get a white belt when you start, and then you watch some videos, and then you take a test and you get your white belt. Then you move to yellow belt. You watch the videos, you take a test, and you get your yellow belt. And you move all the way up until you get to the black belt, and then you watch the videos, you take the test, and you get your black belt. I had a woman complete the course in 2 days. It was crazy. She did it last week. Normally it takes 3-4 weeks for a person to go through it, but it covers a lot of things, from how to memorize foreign languages to how to give speeches without notes, how to memorize chapters of books, how to remember names, of course, how to memorize poems or quotes or verses, how to memorize numbers. Yes, how to memorize a deck of cards is in there. But you progress, and as you learn each new skill, you get awarded a new belt, and as you get your black belt in memory. But it's my flagship product. It's what my whole business is based around now, being a black belt in memory. And it's a neat product, I think, because it is based on a martial arts belt system, and it's kind of makes it fun.
Well, I have the product. I am sorry to say I have not dug into the product as much as I should have and will. But, it's interesting. Just hearing you talk again reiterates to me so much of how important this is in every aspect of our lives. Yes, it's very important in the business aspect, but come on. I mean, just going to a cocktail party and remembering somebody's name, even if you just remember it for the entire cocktail party, how much more special does that person feel?
That's right. Zig Ziglar used to say, people don't care how much you know until they first know how much you care. Dale Carnegie wrote in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that everybody's favorite subject is themselves, and the sweetest sound of their ear is the sound of their own name.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Ron, tell us how we can get in touch with you, how we can work with you. I know you've got at least 3 of those programs, and I'm really looking forward to the Albert Einstein one. I started listening to some of the audios on that, and it's really fascinating. Before you do that, why'd you do the Albert Einstein one?
Well, so the name of my company is Brain Athlete, like brain in your head, Brain Athlete, like an Olympic athlete. And when I was 12 years old, my art teacher said, everybody draw a picture of somebody that you admire. And I drew Albert Einstein. I just thought he was the coolest guy. It's just obviously a great thinker or whatever. But maybe about 15 years ago, I just started thinking, who would be a cool person? Any historical figure who I could kind of look at their life and then learn some life strategies from them. And Albert Einstein just has always stuck out to me, but it also fit my brand of Brain Athlete. Because I think, when you say who's the smartest person of all time, people are going to say Albert Einstein. And it's even Einstein is even a word now for a smart person or whatever. So I guess I've just been fascinated with him for a long time. And I wanted to create a product that looked at his life and how he approached life. For example, his son came to him once and said, "Dad, I got a broken heart. I'm devastated. This girl broke up with me. I just don't want to live. I'm so crushed." And Albert Einstein said, "Son, life is like a bicycle. In order to keep your balance, you have to keep moving." And it was such great advice on how to deal with a broken heart that he gave. And that program, How to Develop the Mind of Einstein, is just full of true stories on the life of Einstein. So that's how I came up with that. I just admired the guy. But as far as how can people keep in touch with me and get information on these products and stuff, I have a YouTube channel. It's very popular. We've got millions of views. Just in the last couple months, we've got millions of views. If somebody typed in the word ronwhitevideo.com, Ron White, that's my name, Ron White, ronwhitevideo.com, it would take you to my YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube. But also, underneath each one of my YouTube videos, I'll have a link where you can either go sign up for my newsletter, or you can purchase a product, or Black Belt Memory or something like that. So if you just wondering, Ron, how do I keep in touch with you? Do that. Go sign up for it. It's free, and it's free videos. Of course, my paid products, I teach more, but that's a good introduction. Here's one more thing, and I wasn't planning on mentioning this, but if somebody wants to get my pictures for names for free, search my YouTube channel for How to Remember Names video. And in there, I have a video on how to remember names. And in the description of that video, underneath it, I have a link where you can go to get my pictures for names for free. It's like 500 names turned into pictures.
That makes it a lot easier. Now we don't have to at least come up with 500 images.
They do. And you know what? On Amazon, I got a book for 99 cents. So this is not a get-rich-quick scheme here. But, I got a book for 99 cents called Name Memory. And in that book, I turned 1,600 names from around the world, all 7 continents, into a picture. You can get it on Kindle for 99 cents. It's called Name Memory.
Name Memory. I love that. I just want to get it just to see what my name is.
Yeah, it's like the hammer, right?
Yeah. That would make sense. Well, look, I'm not here to pitch your stuff, but I've seen it in action, and this is such an important area. Check out Ron's stuff here. This is so important in all aspects of your life. Ron, thank you so much for your time. And before you go, do you have any parting advice for our listeners? They're trying to figure out how to take their game to the next level, how to increase their peak performance. Any parting advice? Well,
trust yourself and trust your memory. You're smarter than you give yourself credit for, most likely. Your brain is capable of more than you give yourself credit for, most likely. You're most likely underestimating the potential of what your brain and what you are capable of. I heard somebody say that sometimes we can overestimate what we will accomplish in a year when we're setting our goals, but we most often underestimate what we can accomplish in 10 years. So you're capable of great things. The human mind created the pyramids, Stonehenge, Easter Island with nothing more than primitive tools and the human brain. And that human brain has so much access to so much more information now than it did when it built the pyramids and the Great Wall of China and Easter Island and Stonehenge. So you're capable of great things. Believe in that. Believe in yourself, and amaze yourself.
Terrific advice. Thank you, Ron, for your time, and I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Thor. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, why do you get up every single morning and go to work? Is it because you love morning traffic, office break room coffee, and meetings? No. The main reason people get together and work is accountability. Of course, these days you can definitely remotely work most jobs. Heck, my phone's got a more powerful computer in it than any desktop my dad's ever used. But it's not about that. What it is about is being able to look a peer in the eye and know that you delivered. A lot of entrepreneurs these days don't have that luxury. They might work from home. They might be a sole proprietor, or they might just be a one-person operation. But accountability is still an important part to execution and overall success. So what do? Well, we've got a solution. Visit thorconklin.com/accountability. Thor's set up a masterful system that's powerful and allows you to connect one-on-one with him If you think you might be a good candidate, simply check us out. Again, it's thorconklin.com/accountability. It'll be the easiest meeting you sit through all day.
Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, if you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners, and if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.